p.m. WGBR.
We're back, and we return to Chicago with Harry. Harry, I'm probably going to have to hold you through the top of the hour break here, so don't feel constrained by time. But I got to make an observation here to you and the audience. In our discussion on tobacco taxes and government programs, I, in my mind, mentioned referenced three logical explanations to show how these policies contradict each other and may end up accomplishing the exact opposite of what they say they want. Your response to all three logical presentations was to say, yeah, but they care. And they're trying to do the right thing, which proves the point that I have been trying to make for the last 24 months, that it is people's emotional intentions that count here. Clinton's emotional intentions, the Democrats' emotional intentions. The logic of something is irrelevant. Whether it'll work or not doesn't matter. It is, if somebody cares, it counts for more than whether or not it's going to succeed. The other observation was that when you mentioned to my question, what about when the program fails to deliver enough money, and so there isn't any money for kiddie health care, you said, well, they probably cut the programs. You responded with a solution. Well, you said you're a policy wonk. If you were a policy wonk, you would try to find another solution to fix the problem, which I translate as meaning you are comfortable with government officials trying to find other ways to micromanage the lives of a free people.
True.
Well, government is not... Now, hang on, you're going to have all the time in the world after the break here, because I've only got 10 seconds left. You will have a chance to respond to all this. But government is not supposed to micromanage the lives of free people. That's not what freedom is. Freedom is not governed, and especially controlled by government.
From the WGBR Community Affairs Desk, the Small Business Center of Wayne Community College and the Wayne County Chamber of Commerce are presenting their next seminar on Thursday, February the 5th. Make a Positive First Impression is the name of the seminar, from 1:30 till 4:30 in the afternoon at the Wayne Community College. If you would like additional information, call the Small Business Center at 735-5151, extension 334. Hear what everybody's talking about on 1150 WGBR.
Hear what everybody's talking about. 1150 WGBR, Goldsboro. Do you worry about how much someone else drinks? Does it cause you problems that no one seems to understand? There are people who understand in Al-Anon, a program for families and friends of alcoholics. Call 1-800-356-9996.
If you like to stay on the cutting edge of events, then tune to the Rush Limbaugh program. You'll get tomorrow's news today. Join me, Rush Limbaugh, weekdays right here on the EIB network.
NBC Radio News. A U.S. military jet sliced through a cable car in northeastern Italy, sending at least 14 people plunging to their deaths. Correspondent Joe Walsh tells us what the Pentagon is saying about this freak accident.
The Marine Corps says the EA-6B Prowler hit a cable while on a low-level training flight. Colonel Stu Wagner, a Marine Corps spokesman, says the plane suffered damage to a lower pod and stabilizer, but was able to return safely to its base at Aviano, Italy. The plane was part of a NATO-led force assigned to patrol the skies over Bosnia.
Rescue workers managed to evacuate passengers from the line's other cable car, which was dangling after the accident. Death row inmate Carla Faye Tucker is hoping for a legal miracle as she awaits her execution tonight in Huntsville, Texas. Only a last-minute stay from the U.S. Supreme Court or intervention by the governor can save Tucker from becoming the first woman executed in the state since the Civil War. I'm Barbara Porter.
Telcard needs you to take a minute of your time to tell you about the most exciting business opportunity of a lifetime and how you can get started. A business where there's no selling required, no debts to collect, no books to keep, absolutely no overhead, and the best part is it's an all-cash business. 800-791-0999. That's 1-800-791-0999. Find out how with a small investment you can earn possibly $500 a week or more, maybe a lot more, and work as little as 5 hours a week. Whether you're spinning your wheels at your present job, retired, or just need extra income, call 800-791-0999 to find out about this exciting opportunity in this explosive new industry and how you can get started. Imagine working 5 hours a week and possibly make $25,000 a year. You deserve the financial security you've always wanted. Get in on this ground floor opportunity that's about to explode on the American market. Timing is critical, so call 1-800-791-0999. That's 800-791-0999.
A Whitewater grand jury is hearing from more witnesses today in the White House sex scandal. Former White House intern Caroline Self was questioned about packages sent from Monica Lewinsky that she had signed for. Self says she's upset the investigation has put White House interns in a bad light.
On behalf of my generation, America's young people, I thank President Clinton and his administration for giving young people opportunities, such as the White House intern program, to learn from the leaders of the present in preparation for leading in the future.
Self says she did not have any knowledge of an improper relationship between the president and Monica Lewinsky. The court-martial of Sergeant Major Gene McKinney has been put off for a day, giving his lawyer time to find out why one witness was put in a witness protection program for 4 months. A major storm whipped up winds and waves across southern Florida, leaving 220,000 customers without power and leading to some daring at-sea rescues. Dale Thomas of Florida Power and Light in Miami describes the damage.
In the hardest hit areas, there are tree limbs down. In some cases, whole trees have fallen over. A lot of tree limbs blown into power lines and a lot of lightning strike damage.
One death is linked to the storm. On the opposite coast, El Nino is being blamed for a major storm there, which saturated parts of the state with more than 4 inches of rain and could cause major flooding headaches. It's back to jail for a former Seattle elementary school teacher who pleaded guilty to having sex with a 13-year-old former student. Mary Kay Letourneau was found in a car with the boy, of violations of the terms of her parole. Police spokeswoman Carmen Beth.
Apparently the vehicle was parked with the parking lights on, windows steamed, and occupants inside. The officer contacted the people in the vehicle, one of which was later identified as Mary Kay Letourneau.
Letourneau had been sentenced to a sex offenders program and was to keep away from the boy, now 15. On Wall Street, the Dow down 20 to 8,087. With NBC Radio News, I'm Barbara Porter.
Pam Rube of Chicago, Illinois, talks about a soft, soothing way to help prevent and treat diaper rash.
I recently discovered Gold Bond Cornstarch Plus and switched immediately after reading the ingredients.
Triple Action Gold Bond Cornstarch Plus Baby Powder has cornstarch to absorb, kaolin to soothe, and zinc oxide to protect against wetness.
I like the texture of it because it's cool and soft and tender to the skin, and also the fact that it's a medicated product.
Triple Action Gold Bond Cornstarch Plus. More than a baby powder, it's medication. Use only as directed.
Do you know what triggers a tax audit? What kind of income is tax-free? You'll know with the Wall Street Journal Guide to Understanding Your Taxes. 115 pages of valuable information to help keep your taxes in line. Learn about estimated taxes and tax planning for the future. Subscribe now and get 10 weeks of the journal for just $3.90 a week and the tax guide free. Tax time is just around the corner. So call now, 800-313-1200. That's 800-313-1200.
Goldsboro Nissan maintains one of the largest inventories of new Nissans in this part of the state. They deal in volume, so they sell for less. Their prices are so low, chances are with approved credit, you won't need any down payment. Goldsboro Nissan offers you the greatest buys in pre-owned cars and trucks. Where else can you buy 96 and 97 program Nissans up to $3,000 below book value? Trade-in values, financing terms, rock-bottom prices on new and pre-owned vehicles, and this area's best credit rebuilding program are at Goldsboro Nissan, period. That's Goldsboro Nissan, Highway 70 West, Goldsboro.
Strong storm to move up the eastern seaboard has a lot of moisture with it. Because of that, a flood watch is in effect for today through Wednesday. Cloudy this afternoon with the rain increasing in intensity, becoming windy too. High in the upper 40s to low 50s. Cloudy, rainy, windy tonight. Rain will be heavy at times. Look for a low in the upper 30s to about 40 degrees. And then tomorrow, more clouds, more rain. Still be windy too, with the high tomorrow right around 40. In the Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Chris Thompson.
Performing my job with flawless broadcast excellence, this is Rush Limbaugh on WGBR. Second term, it's entirely possible that President Clinton met more times with Monica Lewinsky than he did with James Carville. Greetings to you, conversationalists all across the fruited plain. It's the award-winning Rush Limbaugh program, the most listened to radio talk show in America today, the most misunderstood radio program by people who don't listen to it, and the most mischaracterized program also by people who don't listen to it. We're here and we persevere each and every day. Number one with the American people, and for a reason. Phone number if you'd like to be on the show, 800-282-2882. And before getting to this hour's News Digest and monologue, we return to Harry in Chicago, who has graciously waited during the top of the hour break to respond to some of the things I said. And you had another point you wanted to make as well, so have at it.
Okay, thanks, Rush. First of all, when I said earlier, if I were a policy wonk, what I meant was, and therefore I believe, as perhaps the Democrats do, that, there's a government program that can solve anything. I don't believe that. I just think that there are certain programs that an administration like Clinton's are married to that they'd want to see continued, and if they couldn't find funding one way, they'd try another way. I, on the other hand, would love to see a lot of these programs eliminated, so I just wanted to be clear about that.
Oh, okay, good.
All right, now the other thing was...
but you did say, you did say, correct me if I'm wrong here in my interpretation, but you did say that you agreed with me when I said you sounded like somebody who thinks that government should micromanage people's lives.
No, I did not agree with you. I disagreed. I do not think that in the slightest.
Oh.
I would like to see... I'm a Reagan Republican, even though I'm going to come off sounding like a Democrat with the next segment here, but... that I have to talk about, but I really I voted for Reagan both times, and I wish he was still president, frankly.
Okay, well, let's go ahead and see what we have coming up next then.
Okay, the thing is like this. You asked yesterday why people are giving Clinton a pass with this Monica Lewinsky business, and I think it's a combination of factors. First of all, I think people, because of the fact that nothing has been proven, people want to give him the benefit of the doubt. And when they see a performance like the one he did on the State of the Union message, if this guy is guilty, he certainly doesn't, he's either the worst villain in American history and has absolutely no conscience, or he's innocent. And
well, anybody that has studied the man knows it's the former. But no, seriously.
But I don't believe he is the worst villain. I really don't.
No, but has no conscience. That's what I was agreeing. I look, we can get into discussions about whether he's a villain. It doesn't, at this point in time, it's irrelevant, I think. Doesn't matter. People don't want to hear him discussed in that way. But here's my problem. I'm going to grant that you probably are right when you say that a lot of people, because he is our president, and we want to give our president the benefit of the doubt on any allegation like this. But see, my problem is that I think too much, maybe, compared to some of these people who just react, that are participating in these polls, which seems to be a lot of people. But I look at something that's very telling to me, and I've pointed this out I don't know how many times in this program. When this president or when this administration has the ability to refute a charge, they waste no time doing it, with evidence, documentation, or what have you. The most recent example, of course, is the Secret Service story that ran in the Dallas Morning News. Secret Service guys supposedly saw the President Lewinsky in a, quote, compromising, unquote, situation. Well, it was only a matter of hours that David Kendall, the president's personal lawyer, called Ted Koppel and anybody else who'd listened, said, this is BS, it isn't true, it's not true, and here's this and here's that, and so everybody retracted the story. We heard yesterday that Monica Lewinsky visited the White House December 28th, after she had left the government. White House hasn't disputed it. They're just not commenting on it. There are a lot of things the president has not answered any of these questions. They're obviously doing their best to keep whatever is the truth known from the American people. Well, when anybody tries to keep me, be it the president or my brother or anybody else, tries to keep from me something that they don't want me to know, I know that it's something injurious or damaging or what have you. And it's clear to anybody who wants to think about this that it is not, the administration has no version. All they have are denials. And there's mounting evidence here that something was going on, and if the people want to give him the benefit of the doubt, then they're going to have to really stretch that and ignore a lot of facts and information in order to grant that benefit. And it is their desire to do that which is puzzling to people. It is their lack of curiosity to know the truth, I think. They would rather not know it if it's bad. Go ahead.
Yeah, I just, I think a lot of people are they just, like I said, they don't know, and a lot of these things are innuendo and circumstantial evidence. I mean, the fact that an intern visited the White House a lot, we don't know what went on. Even the lawyer, what's his name, Ginsburg, seems to feel that the president will survive this. And in terms of the behavior of Clinton not wanting to respond to some of these things, maybe he just wants to keep his head above the fray and not get involved in these types of denials. Did you see George Bush trying to defend himself on a charge like this? He probably do the same thing?
No, he didn't do the same thing. He steadfastly refuted it. And he did so with passion and anger, and a number of times.
Refuted or denied?
Refuted it.
That's another thing. How do you prove a negative? Prove to me that I didn't do something. You can't do that. So he's probably just waiting to see until all the evidence is out, and then he'll have a response. And besides, there's another factor here. There are several factors. I just mentioned two of them: the performance on the State of the Union and his the benefit of the doubt. But worst case scenario, and even if it's disgusting and the behavior is disgusting, and most Americans are repulsed by this behavior, we're talking about two consenting adults. And you have a whole American history of presidents being involved in extramarital affairs, starting from Jefferson all the way on down.
We are court-martialing members of the military. We are firing CEOs. We are ruining other people's lives for engaging in this kind of conduct. And we're willing to give the President of the United States a pass. I want to take the occasion of your call here to make one point. It's a response to what you said about Ginsburg's comment that the president will likely survive this. Let me tell you why that is. And Harry, if you've heard me say anything, hear this. Kenneth Starr, the independent counsel, is not on a bimbo hunt. Kenneth Starr doesn't care a whit about the sex, the affair, the oral sex. This is my opinion, but I am relatively certain. That's not at all what turned him on. I don't think Janet Reno would have, and the three-judge panel would have acted so quickly if all there was in all this serious... I mean, Starr has said that he has evidence, credible evidence, of the violation of, or the commission of several severe federal crimes. Well, having a consensual oral sex relationship with an intern would not qualify. There has to be something else. And I said last week, I'll say it again now. I'm convinced that what Starr always wanted out of Lewinsky was not confirmation they had the affair. That was incidental. What he was looking at was, did indeed Vernon Jordan act on behalf of this woman to find her a job to shut her up? Was she paid hush money, in effect? Has there been the subordination of perjury? You go back to Webster Hubbell having arranged for him a job at Revlon for $60,000 a year after he was useless. He'd been convicted, he'd out of the government, he was useless to anybody, but Vernon Jordan gets him a job. And Webb Hubbell hadn't said a word that's damaging to Clinton. So here's Vernon Jordan's name popped up in this woman's tapes and popped up with the things that she had said to people. That's what sent him into his investigatory mode. And that's where I mentioned yesterday that this goes beyond the boundaries of the private life. All these people talking about how the private life doesn't matter compared to the public. Well, this goes beyond the private life. If there has indeed been this effort to shut Lewinsky up by finding her employment, I mean, why would Vernon Jordan, what's he meeting with her for? I mean, there's plenty here to titillate the independent prosecutor who's seen Vernon Jordan's name in the Whitewater investigation previous to all this. I think Ginsburg's comment that the president survived simply means that in Ginsburg's own opinion, his client is not going to give Starr what he wants. He's not going to say that Vernon Jordan suborned perjury or told her to lie. She may admit that they had the affair, and Ginsburg knows he'll survive that. But Ginsburg knows that nobody's going to be able to prove subordination or subornation of perjury, and so that's all he's saying. But whatever, it's tawdry. This is not the kind of stuff of a good legacy. This is when it's all said and done, this is not the kind of thing that a people are ultimately going to be proud of their government or of their president for. And there are too many unanswered questions to which there are answers, but those who have them refuse to give them. And that is, in my mind, reason number one to be suspicious. No bias at all is involved in my reasoning here, simply human nature. Harry, thank you very much for your time. Appreciate it. You have illustrated quite a lot in your phone call today. You have, I think, whether you intended to or not, you have, by virtue of your comments and thoughts, given this audience the profile of the typical respondent in one of these approval polls that gives the president 70 or 72%. And now we know, because of your openness, your candor, and your honesty, what the mindset is of these people who are responding in favorable ways to these poll questions is. Take a break. We'll be back in a moment.
You're listening to the EIB Network.
Hey, would you buy better grades for your child or teenager if you could? You heard me right. From a D to a C, even a B to an A. Well, the phonics game can teach your child or teenager the fast, fun secret to better report cards through superior reading. Teachers will tell you, students who read better have a huge advantage in school. They read faster, retain better, and test-taking becomes easier. Well, that's what the phonics game promises to do. Better grades through superior reading skills. In fact, the phonics game promises a 1 full letter grade improvement on your student's next report card or your money back. And if you're wondering why no other reading program promises better grades, it's because they don't teach reading the fast, fun phonics game way. I know. My niece plays it, and she loves it. Look, all students are different, but the promise is the same. Better grades or your money back. And order now for your free comprehension game. The number to call is 800-243-READ. 800-243-READ. 800-243-READ.
You're smart, right? You want fast, accurate trades and seriously low commissions. That's Ameritrade. Internet trade for $8. Touchstone trade for $12. Or trade by broker for just $18. Check out Ameritrade.com or call 1-800-403-3399. Open an account by April 15th and get a free IRA for life. Call 1-800-403-3399 or go to Ameritrade.com. Ameritrade, the way to trade, period.
Member NESDS IPC, $2,000 minimum equity required to open your account.
To enjoy savings on jewelry for your Valentine, Barnes Jewelers has 30% off diamond jewelry, gold chains, and earrings. Up to 50% off savings on watches. For your special Valentine, shop the savings at Barnes Jewelers, home of Eastern Carolina's best jewelry repair service. 502B, Eastgate Drive, Goldsboro.
For special people, here's something special from Barnes Jewelers.
Looking for a truck? See your little country dealer, James Finch Chevrolet.
Do yourself a favor, give a listen to me. If you're looking for a dealer, here's the man that you should see. He's really big on service, he's big on quality. He's the little country dealer, he's right for you and me.
When it's time to buy a new truck, you want to save money and get a good deal. The one to see is James Finch Chevrolet, your little country dealer in Bailey. It's got a great selection of trucks from the Chevrolet S10 pickups to them four-wheel drive Blazers and custom vans. Your little country dealer in Bailey has got the right truck for you. Get the truck you want at James Finch Chevrolet.
He's really big on service, he's big on quality. He's the little country dealer, he's right for you and me.
James Finch Chevrolet, Main Street in Bailey. Buy from your little country dealer and save big. He's just a little drive from almost anywhere in the area.
If you think you're paying more than you have to for your car insurance, see State Farm agent Greg Foster. He represents State Farm, a company well known for low-cost car insurance. Greg Foster will give you good service and good coverage as well. Even more importantly, if you have an accident, Greg Foster will make sure your claim is handled properly and promptly. Why pay more than you have to for car insurance? Compare State Farm's cost, coverage, and service. Then see Greg Foster at 908 East Ash Street, Goldsboro. Like a good neighbor, State Farm is there.
WGBR.
Rush Limbaugh ultimately will be recognized as the politest host of a controversial program on the air. 1-800-282-2882. Great to have you with us. I tell you, the Leon Panetta decision not to run for governor of California, he said that he's not doing it because he doesn't have the ability, I think, or doesn't want to go through the process, whatever it is, of raising the tens of millions of dollars that would be necessary for the race. I think there's subtext that you can... I frankly think that there may be some of tailgate influencing his decision. The fundraising is going to be a challenge for all Democrats. We'll just have to see. I think too soon to tell now, but Panetta deciding suddenly not to run for governor could be an indication of what the Democrats really, in their hearts and in their minds, ultimately think of all this. I frankly believe that a lot of mainstream Democrats are bothered by the continuing unanswered questions and the length of time this thing looks like it's going to take to culminate. But the president did get well wishes from a supportive personality, Fidel Castro. Wished President Clinton luck today in overcoming problems linked to this affair business, and he blamed Jesse Helms for fomenting the scandal. Said the supreme leader, "I think the actions of Clinton's adversaries are really dirty. It's a real example of the things that occur in that country, of the lack of ethics." Well, well, well. Wonder how the White House feels now to know that Fidel Castro is in their corner, on their side, joining the French and the rest of these Europeans. And boy, they really got a lot to brag about, don't they, about how good government operates. A grand jury in Washington reviewing allegations that Clinton had sex with Monica Lewinsky, then engaged in a cover-up. Clinton's denied it, of course. The Cuban leader accused right-wing U.S. politicians, led by Jesse Helms, of waging a campaign against Clinton with the charges. Quote, "Castro, I sincerely hope that he can overcome the problems." His comments came during a 4-hour talk last night and today on the Pope's visit. Castro makes late-night speeches. He starts around midnight, 10 or 11 o'clock, goes into the early morning hours. Back to the phones. Jim in Orlando, Florida. Hello and welcome to the program, sir. Great to have you with us.
Thank you, Rush. Vast right-wing conspiracy dittos from Orlando.
Thank you much.
Rush, I think this is a good development for conservatives, the fact the public is focused on policy and the budget and not Monica right now. And the reason I believe that is the Clinton budget focuses on the key distinction between liberals and conservatives, and that's individual freedom. Conservatives standing for independence and personal freedom, liberals for dependence and loss of personal freedom through the handing out of goodies. In particular, the president's education proposals focus on federal control versus parent and local control, and really side with the provider, teachers' unions and teacher bureaucrats, versus the consumer, the parent and the student. I think that's an excellent issue for conservatives to challenge the president on.
Let me ask you a question. Are you confident that the American people don't want more government programs and don't want more government spending and don't want more after-school care for their kids that the parents don't have to worry about? Or are you sure that's not what they want? You sure this is a win?
I believe that, yes, if you've phrased the debate properly, yes, it is a win. I think when you phrase the debate as a loss of control and a loss of freedom, I think that will be a plus. And that the president's plan is siding with the teachers' unions and the teaching bureaucrats against parents and students.
Well, we'll have
That's
to
a
see.
win.
Maybe so, but the thing that worries me, and this is actually focuses on the primary worry I've had for a number of years. You welcome the return to policy, but I don't think that's any respite, because the American people have demonstrated to me that the more nanny-like the government, the better they like it. And you look at these presidential job approval polls, and they all say, oh, that was a brilliant State of the Union speech. They loved it. So Jim, my good friend and fellow right-wing conspirator, they loved that speech. They loved what it said. And what was the speech? Here's what I'm going to do for you. Here's what I'm going to do for you. Here's what I'm going to do for you. And I'm going to do it while we balance the budget at the same time for the first time in 30 years. All because of our program in '93. I think if you think it's good that we return to policy, I mean, I welcome the policy debate. Don't misunderstand. I'm not afraid of taking it on. I'll take it on every day of the week. I'll readily and eagerly go to the arena of ideas and do what I can to prevail there. But I'm not so sure that this is just a slam dunk win-win based on your assumption that most people don't want the government to control things. I'm terribly afraid that most people do, because they think it's freeing them from responsibilities. And I haven't found a poll yet that shows the American people want tax cuts. You look at the polls that we had before this scandal all broke, and we were talking about policy things as we do here every day. We were stunned at the number of Americans who thought taxes were just fine. They didn't want any tax cuts and blah, blah, blah. I'm not at all convinced that American people are reacting in a revolted way to this budget. And I'll tell you something else. I'm also not convinced that the American people are waking up every day and voraciously reading the details of this budget anyway. I think we're still back, as long as we talk, gotta get policy, here you stick to policy. I think that's BS too. As long as the economy is fine, and as long as people are happy, they don't want to be concerned with any of this stuff. As long as they hear somebody say, we got the first balanced budget in 30 years, we're going to have 18 kids in a classroom, we're going to have 100,000 new teachers, they sign off. That's it. It's done. Do it. I'm happy. So maybe an opportunity, but other things are going to have to happen for that opportunity to be realized. I don't mean to throw a damper on it, but folks, we got to be realistic here. When you assess a problem, you got to be honest with what the problem is before you set about solving it. That's all I try to do here. Sometimes it's called tough love, sometimes it's bitter pill, bad medicine, or what have you. But the fact of the matter is that I don't think this debate, bigger government versus smaller, freedom versus control, has by any means been won. May look like it, but an engaging personality like Clinton can overcome it.
If you're receiving payments from lottery winnings, an insurance settlement, trust deeds, or business notes, Mutual Funding Group may turn the payments you're receiving into a lump sum of cash. That's right. If you're receiving future payments from any insurance settlement or lottery or trust deed or business note, you may get a lump sum of cash from Mutual Funding right now. For a free evaluation, just call 1-888-90-MUTUAL 24 hours a day. That's 1-888-906-8882. Again, 1-888-906-8882. Void where prohibited.
This is WGBR News, Goldsboro's very own.
It's time for a look at local news. I'm Thomas Vick on 1150 WGBR. Acting Wayne County Public School Superintendent Jimmy Williams was named the school system's regular full-time superintendent last night at the Wayne County Board of Education meeting. Williams replaces Ray Brayboy, who resigned last year. The tenure of Williams as superintendent is through June 30th, the year 2000. His base salary, $89,500, with incentives for pay written into the contract such that it will not exceed $95,000. Williams said he's honored to have the job, and he will continue to guide school administration to best meet the educational needs of the children. The filing period for the November elections ended yesterday. Among the late filers, 74-year-old William Kemp Jr. He's running against Irvin Watts for the District 6 school board seat. Former Kinston Mayor Buddy Rich says he will run against Carolyn Russell for the 77th House seat, which covers portions of Wayne and Lenore counties. David Oliver also filed at the last minute to run for election in the Clerk of Courts race. The total election picture consists of 27 candidates locally. A break-in at 204 East Holly Street in Goldsboro has been identified by Goldsboro Wayne Crime Stoppers as this week's crime of the week. Teresa Stone Hennett was a victim of this break-in when someone forced entry into an auto body shop and stole an assortment of tools. Police said the incident occurred sometime within the last 2 weeks. Anyone with information about this crime or any other crime in Wayne County is asked to call Crime Stoppers at 735-2255. You will not be asked to give your name, and you may receive a cash reward for your information. Crime Stoppers gives cash rewards up to $1,000 for information leading to arrests in felony cases. School board member Shirley Sims Stewart says she feels the Wayne County School Board's taking unfair shots from the public about the renovation of Brogden Middle School. Stewart's not alone. The majority of the other board members say they feel the same way. For the past 2 meetings, citizens have said they feel the Brogden project has been put behind other projects of the current school board building plan despite its deplorable conditions. The school board, in fact, has already got the ball rolling on the Brogden project, and it's one of the first renovation projects that will be completed by fall of 1999. That's a look at local news. I'm Thomas Vick on 1150 WGBR.
More problems with weather as we get into this work week. Another storm moving along the coast. Because of that, a flood watch is in effect for today through Wednesday. It'll be cloudy through the afternoon with the rain increasing in intensity, becoming very windy also. Look for high in the upper 40s to low 50s. Cloudy, windy, and rainy tonight. Rain will be heavy at times. Low upper 30s to about 40. Tomorrow, cloudy, rainy, and still windy. High around 40. I'm meteorologist Chris Thompson in the Weather Center.
Performing my job with flawless broadcast excellence, this is Rush Limbaugh on WGBR.
U.S. Savings Bonds. Give a piece of America. There's a new fragrance from Calvin Klein. It's seductive. It's dangerous. It's
presidential.
Presidential, the fragrance that makes a man think he's irresistible to women.
Welcome to our company.
Thank you very much for hiring me.
Great. Mind if I take my pants off?
Why, I never.
When you wear presidential, you'll feel immortal. You'll feel powerful. You'll feel unimpeachable.
Presidential.
Hi, do you come here often?
No, this is my first time.
That's terrific. Mind if I take my pants off? She wants me. Oh, yeah.
Wear presidential for a woman, and in turn, she'll love you for it.
Hello?
Hi, I met you at the bar the other night.
I don't believe this.
Say, can you hold on a second? I want to take my pants off.
Oh!
Presidential.
A new fragrance from Calvin Klein.
back, ladies and gentlemen, to this, the Rush Limbaugh program and the EIB network. Half my brain tied behind my back just to make it fair. And again, the phone number is 800-282-2882. If you'd like to email me a note, caustic, friendly, or otherwise, the address is rush@eibnet.com. A question, ladies and for all of you who think a return to policy matters is just what the doctor ordered, take a look at some of these polls. Some of these polls that grant the president a 70%, 72%, 68%, whatever it is, approval rating, job approval rating. Those same polls indicate that a little over 50% of those same people responding to these polls think the president is lying about this affair. Now, my point is not that, well, gee, if they think he's lying about the affair, how can they approve of the job he's doing? That's not the question. This is the question. If 50% or more of the American people think he's lying about the affair, do you think they even wonder whether he's lying about policy statements he makes? This has been one of my bugaboos since the health care debate began. I remember I was on Nightline with Chester Carville about this, and the point that I made on that program was if we catch him lying once, is it not fair to examine everything else he says? At the time, the president and the first lady were the sole sources of how wonderful and magnanimous the health care plan they had was. And I said, now, if they've lied about some other things and we were able to mention some things that they had been less than truthful about, is it not, therefore, responsible to inquire as to whether they might not be lying about their health care plan, too? And it was exactly, and I had a home run on that Nightline show because it was 3 days later that Mrs. Clinton called her pretty in pink press conference sitting underneath that portrait of Lincoln in the White House to refute some of the things that I had said and to try to get to and I think we were talking cattle futures at the time and all that. So she went on to explain how she'd made all that money so quickly as if she'd done it reading the pages of the Wall Street Journal. Well, so you take now 50% of these poll respondents think he's lying about the affair. So those of you who think that, I don't know how many of you poll respondents are in this audience, but I'm going to assume that many of you in this audience think he's lying about the affair, but you don't care because it isn't a big deal, it's his private life. How many of you think if he's willing to lie about the affair, do you ever consider what else he might lie about? Or do you just assume he never lies, except this time he's lying for the first time? See, this is the big disconnect that you take it your personal life. Anybody in your orb, your family, somebody at work, let them lie to you one time about something you know is false, or you know is true and they're lying about it. You're never, ever going to just openly, unconditionally trust anything they say in the future. You're always going to have that little shred of curiosity and doubt. But apparently that doesn't extend to judgments about this particular president. Now, the people did consider whether Nixon was lying every time he opened his mouth, but with Clinton, they don't. It's a human nature curiosity to me. Milledgeville, Georgia is up next. This is Kelly. You're on the EIB network. Hello.
Hi, Rush. Fellow right-wing conspirator, cigar-smoking dittos from the heart of central Georgia.
Thank you very much. We are hearing from a tremendous number of members of the vast right-wing conspiracy today. Great that you're calling in and reporting in.
Thank you, Rush. My comment is, you know, after 7 or 8 days of hearing all this stuff on TV and the radio, no one is addressing the issue of the blackmail or extortion that possibly Monica perpetrated on the president.
I hate to say this, but I did yesterday, and that is the subject of my morning update today.
Mm-hmm.
Would you like to hear it?
Sure.
Mr. Lamar, would you see if you can grab that? It might be better just to play that rather than go through the whole thing. We'll go ahead and make your... Yeah, it'll be a moment while we find it. But
yeah,
I did bring it up yesterday, and I brought it up into this context, or in this context, Kelly, I said, so you think that the private and the public life are separate, and one, as long as the private doesn't touch on the public, then it's none of our business and we shouldn't be concerned about this, huh? And I take it from that point, because what if she is blackmailing him?
Well, to follow up on your aspect about the lying, if he'll react to this kind of petty extortion from an intern, what's he going to do when the Riadas try to hold his feet to the fire on something?
Well, it is a legitimate concern. But on the other hand, if the American people don't understand oral sex in the Oval Office, and they don't understand how that's wrong and shouldn't happen, how in the world are we ever going to convince them on such intricate matters as budget cuts, taxes, tobacco deals, and everything else that aren't what they appear?
Well, it's true. That's a difficult concept. If they can't, figure out these basic concepts, how can you go to the next level? It comes back to defining deviance down, dumbing down these things. They tried to downplay even the perjury aspect when it came out by saying, oh, well, this is simple perjury. Hey, perjury is perjury.
Yeah, but perjury as a legal term has to be proved. How are we coming on finding the update? You got it. All right. Now, listen, this is the morning update today, and it's a derivative of a long monologue that I did yesterday. And I just want to play this for you, Kelly, to let you know that you were surprised nobody's brought it up. Well, I, your host, did. Monica Lewinsky, President Bill Clinton. Many of you people say, hey, that's a private life matter. What he does in his private life doesn't matter to his public life. Okay, I have a question for you. Newsweek magazine this week says that there is evidence of Monica Lewinsky saying that her cooperation in denying allegations of sex with the president was conditional. On a so-called sting tape made by Kenneth Starr's staff with FBI agents listening in, Monica Lewinsky declares that she would not allow her written testimony denying a relationship with Clinton to be filed in the Jones case until